Welcome to the Productivity Podcast. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Sebastian Höglin-Thörden from Whywaste. Hi, Sebastian. How are you doing?
Hi, Simon. I'm good, thank you, and thank you for having me.
Good. How was my Swedish introduction? Did I get it roughly right?
Yeah, surprisingly well, I must say. I can't even say it when I speak English.
Good. So, Sebastian, you're one of the co-founders at Whywaste, and we'll get into what you do at Whywaste and kind of the food waste challenge and all the problems that you're looking to tackle and help with. But let's find out a bit more about you first. So can you give us a bit of a kind of career biog synopsis of what you've done prior to Whywaste and how you ended up being a co-founder there?
Yeah, so I am from Sweden, and prior to Whywaste, I went to England to study economics for a couple of years. Worked a bit in finance in London, a short stint. Then I went back to Sweden, joined a Boston Consulting Group, and worked as a management consultant for a couple of years. But while I was studying, I worked at a food wholesaler and kind of noticed how much food we throw away, which kind of stuck in my mind. So I decided I wanted to address this challenge. And one of my co-founders had done something similar. So we kind of got cracking and, okay, how can we fix a food waste problem? It's a big problem, but that's how we started, basically.
So just explain the kind of things that Whywaste do then. So clearly hot topic across the world in terms of food waste, reducing carbon footprint and all the other things that fit into that kind of sphere. So what exactly does Whywaste do?
So we say as a tagline that we want to make it profitable for retailers to reduce food waste, but that doesn't explain that much. Um, we provide different kind of technical solutions, basically a SaaS company that help the retailers reduce the food waste in different areas. So we started with an application to make the date checking process a bit easier, to make it easier to find products that are about to expire in the stores. And from that, we have expanded to basically offering a full portfolio of solutions for all different areas in a store that might cause food waste. So we can help with smart markdowns of products, give a retailer a correct price, mark something down to sell it. We can help with managing manual food, such as meat. Okay, how do you keep track of that? So a different array of solutions focused on the in-store processes and helping them be a bit more efficient and reduce their waste.
So how does that work typically? So if I'm a retailer and I come to you and say, I've got a big problem with my reductions and waste, I want to reduce that, what kind of things would you do with them? How would they use a solution to tackle the problem?
So the typical process would be, okay, we talk with the retailer that have heard about us, and we say, okay, maybe try our solutions. So we would start a pilot process with them in 5 stores, say, where we would onboard them on our solutions, and they would try that for a couple of months and see kind of what results they get. And if I'm a bit more specific, I think the typical solutions where most of the food waste in a store is because products expire on the shelves. So they would use our solution to be able to find those products. And if I assume everyone is not super read into how that works in a store. So typically, if you don't have any digital solutions to check expiration dates, what you do is a couple of times a week or once daily, store colleagues would go and check every product, that at least every fresh product, to see, okay, does this product expire today or in the next coming days? And that is quite time consuming. And the reason why you have to do that today is because there's no date and expiration dates. So they would use our system, and we basically keep track of the shortest expiration date of every product. So instead of checking everything once or a couple of times a week, you would maybe check 20% of a product. And we would prompt a store colleague to go and check a product. Okay, if it's there, and they would, if that expiration date is there, they would mark it down, and we would give a suggestion on how much they would mark it down. And they would kind of use this tool to simplify that process and find all the products that are about to expire. And hopefully, and in basically all the cases, the retailers will see that this both saves them time because it's a bit more of an efficient process, and they reduce their food waste, which basically increase their profit. And so we'd have this trial, run this, and afterwards, hopefully they'll see that, okay, we should probably roll out the system to all our stores.
So we're helping the retailers from an efficiency point of view. So we're doing less markdowns, more targeted. There's also the kind of dynamic pricing piece in there that you talked about in terms of suggesting the markdown price based on history and sales volume, etc. So there's clearly benefits from a labour cost point of view. From a margin point of view, it doesn't get thrown in the bin, so it doesn't get wasted. And from a customer point of view, potentially there'll be more dynamic prices for me to look and shop around the store to get maybe a yellow label or a reduced label or a bargain.
Yep, that kind of sums it up. And I think it's another point for customers as well. You won't buy something that is expired, which is, I know it's not that fun to you buy something and maybe you can't really eat it when you get home because people miss things. So from a customer point of view, you can be sure that you are not buying something that's gone bad.
Yeah, and just, I suppose, for context for people listening that may not understand, how big or what kind of things have you seen in terms of the whole food waste challenge? Are there numbers that are being talked around in terms of how big the problem is? Can you give us a kind of top line overview?
Yeah, yes. So if you look at it at a global perspective, it's about 40% of all the food that's produced is wasted. We should kind of, however, note that kind of most of that comes from either the producers or the consumers. The retailers are actually reasonably good at managing their food waste. It's still a huge number in their context, but regardless, there's like 700 million people hungry in the world. And if you compare food waste to a country, it's often said that it would be the third largest emitter of greenhouse gases after China and the US. So this is a huge problem. It's one of the largest industries in the world, and 40% of the food is wasted. So it's billions of dollars in a lot of countries.
And there's been lots of talk about it. Clearly, there was the global summit towards the end of 2021 when various countries signed up to various different kind of targets across the next 10 years. But retailers seem to talk about this a lot. There seems to be more traction and movement than ever, but they're not particularly adapting quickly to it. So that the longer they take, surely the more issues this is going to cause.
It's and I think they do want to adopt as quickly as possible. I think one of the challenge, they face two challenges, I'd say, but one of the challenges is they're profit-driven companies, and after a certain point, I'd say the marginal cost of decreasing food waste becomes inhibitantly expensive. And what I mean with that is, if we go back to the date checking I was talking about, if you do that manually, you would be able to find all the products if you just put in enough man hours without using technology. But at a certain point, it does not become profitable. They would spend so much money trying to get to that last part of food waste, which is when technology comes in. You would need some kind of technology to shift that curve, if I can speak as an old economist, to decrease the marginal cost of reducing the food waste. And that leads in to a second challenge: the time it takes to adapt to new technology in quite a few of the retailers.
So do you think the challenges that kind of world leaders have set down and various countries have signed up to, that'll be a kind of slow burn, and as we get towards those milestones, they'll do lots of work to quickly meet it? Or actually, do you think people are putting the foundations in now to get there more gradually? Is it going to be kind of short and sharp at the end, or a gradual work towards?
I think they're actually trying now, and I think it'll be a short, gradual improvement towards meeting the goals. And I think, at least I hear from a couple of retailers now, they are really stressed about it, and this pushes the challenge up on the agenda. So I think we're moving in the right direction. From a Whywaste perspective, I wish it could go faster, and not for our sake, but for the sake of reducing food waste. But we're trying to get there.
Yeah, I think I agree. I hear the same. It's on, it's in the top 3 of strategic agendas for most large organisations in terms of sustainability and the agenda they've signed up to deliver. I suppose I wonder in 5 years' time, when they're halfway towards it or even closer to their target, how far they've actually come and the cost of that. And things we see certainly in the UK, clearly home delivery has boomed during the pandemic, and everybody's investing in new technology, certainly to deliver, but very few are moving to electric fleets of delivery trucks. Mm. So they're actually making the problem worse before they make it better.
I think we've seen a bit of a similar trend in Sweden, more home delivery, and that's getting sped up, and a lot of dark stores. Fortunately, I think quite a few of them use electric means of transport here. I hope we can get there in time, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I think there'll be significant progress made. Whether that means people hit their targets, I'm not sure. But actually, the progress is just a good thing, and we might need to speed it up. So, in terms of the future of Whywaste, what plans have you got to evolve the technology and some of the smart things you're already doing?
Kind of, we have been spending quite a bit of time on broadening our offering. As I said, we started with a date checking application, and we've added things onto that. And now we feel that we're actually quite fully covering when it comes to most areas in the store where we can assist with reducing food waste. And we do have some new stuff that's coming up this year. I can't really tell what it is, but it's quite exciting. However, in the kind of short term now, our focus is to, how can we work with more retailers? Can we be the go-to partners for them to reduce their food waste? So I think what we'll be focusing on is, we'll expand more internationally. Although we are in, I think, 17 countries now, the focus will still be, we need to get this tech out to retailers to make this transition possible.
So the short-term key is enabling retailers to kind of speed up their mission, and then you've got some exciting secret squirrel stuff that's on the way.
Yeah, I think that sums it up.
Good. And if people want to jump on board then and find out more, and you talked about potentially trialing in a handful of stores, etc., where's the best place for them to do that? Is it contact you directly, LinkedIn, website, all of the above?
Yeah, they can go to whywaste.com and basically sign up for a trial there, or they can write an email to me directly, and I'll be happy to assist with that. And you can reach me at sebastian@whywaste.se.
We'll tag you in on LinkedIn as well in the show notes, so people can click on the link and connect to you directly. Sebastian, it's been great to catch up and talk and hear about the mission that you guys are on at Whywaste. Brilliant work. Final question from me is, what's the best bit of business advice you've ever been given?
Tricky one, but I think innovation comes from fast iterations. If that makes sense, or should I expand on it?
I know. I think it makes sense. Yeah. If you've got any more comments to add, that would be good. But I think the pandemic's shown us that certainly, vaccines and all that kind of stuff, fast, sharp iterations. I think fail fast was a big piece of the pandemic, wasn't it? But yeah, put some colour on it by all means.
No, and what I mean is, it's often you are not. Maybe it's first idea is not correct, but releasing something, trying something new, iterating on it based on feedback, and then releasing something new. If you can speed up that process, I think a lot of innovation would happen faster. I think a lot of time is spent on thinking about the correct solution and never releasing it in whatever context that means. But iterate fast, take feedback, do something new. I think that's the best way to move forward and let others judge and help you improve what you're doing now.
Brilliant. Love that one. Sebastian, absolute pleasure to catch up, and we'll speak soon. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Saman. It's been a pleasure.